The final ultimatum leaves no room for error. Surrender or face annihilation. Earth's defenders unleash hidden advancements in a unified resolve. As the clock ticks, the tension mounts. Who will prevail in this epic showdown? Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and share your comments about the exciting end of the story. The last broadcast. Let the story begin. The night sky over Earth reflected a haunting glow, an eerie reminder of the approaching doom. High above, the stars were obscured by the massive shadow of the Galactic Council's armada. The sight of it filled the hearts of many with an unsettling mix of awe and dread. Captain Alex Riker stood on the balcony of his command center, his eyes fixed on the celestial threat. The hum of activity buzzed around him as his team prepared for the impossible task ahead. "Captain Riker," a voice called from behind. It was Dr. Elena Marlowe, the lead scientist behind many of Earth's recent technological breakthroughs. Her lab coat was stained with evidence of countless sleepless nights. "We've just received the transmission. You need to see this." Riker nodded, following her to the central console. On the screen, an alien visage materialized, cold, calculating, and devoid of empathy. The voice that followed was a chilling decree of Earth's fate. "People of Earth," the alien began, its eyes offering no hint of mercy, "you have 24 hours to surrender. Resistance is futile. Prepare to face annihilation." Riker's jaw tightened. The room fell silent, every person present digesting the enormity of the threat. General Marcus Kane, a grizzled veteran with a scarred face, broke the silence. "What are we going to do, Captain? Surrender is not an option." Riker turned to face his team, a fire igniting in his eyes. "They underestimate us," he said. "They don't know what we're capable of. We won't just survive, we'll make history." The room drew in a collective breath, bracing for the weight of Riker's determination. He moved to a large interactive display table. With a swipe of his hand, a holographic map of Earth's hidden defenses sprang to life. Underground bunkers, secret research facilities, and advanced weaponry were revealed in intricate detail. "Dr. Marlowe," Riker said, "how ready are the quantum disruptors?" Elena's eyes sparkled with a mix of uncertainty and conviction. "They're operational, but we haven't had the chance to fully test them under battle conditions." "We don't have the luxury of time," Riker replied. "We need to ensure every unit knows their roles and is ready to do the impossible." General Kane stepped forward, his voice steady and resolute. "Our troops are prepared, Captain. We've trained for this moment. We will fight to our last breath." In the corner, Lieutenant Sarah Hayes, a communications officer with sharp eyes and quick fingers, was already coordinating with Allied forces across the globe. "Messages are going out, Captain. The world is uniting for this fight." Riker nodded, feeling the weight of the world's hope resting on his shoulders. He activated a global broadcast, knowing that his words would either galvanize or crush the spirits of humanity. The cameras rolled, and he began to speak. "To the Galactic Council and to all of humanity watching," Riker started, his voice firm and clear. "We are not as weak as you think. We have hidden our advancements, and now we reveal our true strength. Earth will not kneel. We will fight for our freedom, for our existence. You have been warned." The broadcast carried across the planet and beyond, reaching even the corners of the galaxy where the Council's spies lingered. In a distant command ship, the Council's alien commander, Zarek Thule, watched the transmission with a sneer. "They dare defy us? Humans will learn their place." Riker ended the broadcast and turned back to his team. "We have 24 hours to show them what humanity is made of. Prepare for the greatest battle we've ever faced." The room buzzed with renewed energy. Engineers fine-tuned the disruptors, soldiers readied their gear, and strategists plotted their next moves. There was no turning back now. The countdown had begun, and with it, the final stand of humanity. In the heart of the command center, Alex Riker studied the holographic readouts, his mind racing with calculations and contingency plans. The atmosphere crackled with tension. Every corner buzzed with coordinated activity as teams scrambled to complete their assignments. Outside, a storm rolled in, the sky churning with dark clouds and lightning slashing through the night. The weather seemed to echo Earth's tumultuous state. Riker's gaze flitted to a nearby monitor showing global news feeds, civilians huddling together in makeshift shelters, families clutching to hope amidst prayers whispered into the night. The world was waiting for a savior. Dr. Elena Marlowe leaned over the console next to Riker, her fingers dancing over the keys. Alex, I've completed the last diagnostics on the quantum disruptors. They're as ready as they'll ever be. Riker gave a small nod, his eyes never leaving the screen. Good. We need to ensure coordination between all units using them. We can't afford any mistakes. Near the communications hub, Lieutenant Sarah Hayes coordinated with international leaders. Her fingers moved swiftly over the control panel. Captain, I've got President Nguyen of the Pan-Asian Alliance on the secure line. Riker pressed a button to open the communications link. Mr. President, this is Captain Riker. How are your preparations coming along? The screen flickered to life, revealing Nguyen's determined face. Our troops are mobilized. We've also sent reinforcements to the European sector. We stand ready. Riker's heart swelled with pride at the solidarity. He moved to another section where General Marcus Kane was finalizing defense protocols. Marcus, how's the coordination with our allies? Marcus pointed to a series of holographic battle plans. The European Defense Coalition and the African Union have fortified key positions. South American and Russian forces are preparing to back us up if we get overwhelmed. Riker studied the plans, nodding. Excellent. Let's ensure everyone is on the same page. Timing will be crucial. In the engineering bay, where sparks flew from welding torches and machines hummed with activity, technician Sam Lopez was running final checks on a quantum disruptor unit. Riker approached him, observing the young man's steady hands and focused eyes. How's it looking, Lopez? Riker asked. Lopez looked up, a determined grin on his face. Captain, this baby's good to go. We've made a few tweaks that should boost its charge speed by 10%. Good work, Riker said, clapping him on the shoulder. We need every advantage we can get. As Riker walked back to the main chamber, he felt a mixture of anxiety and determination. His mind drifted to his family, his wife and daughter, safely tucked away in one of the secure shelters. He would not fail them. He could not fail them. In the quiet corner of the command center, he found Elena staring at a small, worn photograph of her own family. She quickly slipped it back into her pocket as Riker approached. Elena, Riker began, his voice softening, I know how much this means to you, to all of us. We're doing this for them. She looked up, her eyes glistening. It's more than just a fight, Alex. It's our future. Nodding, Riker turned his attention back to the central console. Let's make sure that future is one worth fighting for. As the final hours ticked away, every second seemed to stretch into eternity. The command center hummed with an urgency that was almost palpable. Engineers, soldiers, and strategists worked in perfect sync, bound by a common purpose. The weight was agonizing, knowing that at any moment the skies could unleash fury upon them. Lieutenant Hayes' voice cut through the tension. Incoming message from the Council fleet, Captain. It's Zarek Thule. Riker's eyes narrowed. Put it through. The screen flared to life, revealing the steely blue face of Zarek Thule, a smirk playing on his lips. Captain Riker, you have chosen defiance over logic. Your time is almost up. Ignoring the taunt, Riker met Zarek Thule's gaze with unwavering determination. We will never surrender. We are ready for whatever you bring. Zarek Thule's smirk vanished, replaced by a look of disdain. Then prepare to face the end. The Council will show no mercy. The screen went dark, but the fire within Riker only burned brighter. Turning to his team, he took a deep breath. This is it. Everyone to your positions. Let's give them a fight they'll never forget. The command center erupted into action. Riker stood tall among his people, every heartbeat in sync with the countdown clock, ready to make history. The morning sun rose over a world on the brink of war, casting a golden hue over the command center. Inside, Captain Alex Riker stood at the central console, his eyes locked on the tactical displays. Squadrons of fighter jets and battalions of troops were being mobilized across the globe. Status report, Riker commanded, not taking his eyes off the holographic displays. General Marcus Kane stepped forward, his stance rigid and his voice steady. All units are in position, Captain. The European and Asian sectors report full readiness. Ground forces are fortified, and our air defense grid is operational. Lieutenant Sarah Hayes, her fingers poised over her console, added, Communications are stable across all command posts. We're linked with every major defense node. Riker nodded, a flicker of hope kindling within him. Good. We need to be a unified front. No weak points. In the adjacent room, Dr. Elena Marlowe was briefing a team of scientists and engineers. Riker joined her, listening as she explained the final adjustments to the quantum disruptors. Okay, everyone. Remember that the disruptors will need to charge for a full minute before each pulse. Timing and precision are crucial. Riker interrupted. Elena, can we get a demonstration? Show the team what they're dealing with. Elena gave a confident nod and activated a small-scale model of the disruptor. The device hummed to life, emitting a low-frequency buzz that filled the room. Suddenly, a beam of energy shot out, disintegrating a reinforced target placed at the far end. That's the power we're dealing with, Elena said, turning to the team. When scaled to full size, it can take down their shields and disintegrate entire ships. Riker's expression was serious. We need to make sure every unit operates flawlessly. Lives depend on it. A junior engineer, Jessica, raised her hand hesitantly. Dr. Marlowe, what if the disruptor overcharges? Could it backfire? Elena's face softened with understanding. It's a risk, but we've added fail-safes. If it overcharges, it will automatically shut down to prevent any catastrophic failure. Jessica nodded, the reassurance evident in her eyes. Thank you, Doctor. Outside, the roars of engines and cheers of mobilizing troops echoed through the command center's walls. Riker took one last look at the battle plans, his fingers tracing the lines of engagement routes. We can do this, he whispered to himself, as if seeking confirmation from the universe. Suddenly, alerts began blaring through the room. Lieutenant Hayes' voice cut through the noise, filled with urgency. Captain, we're detecting multiple incoming signals. The Council fleet is here. Riker snapped into focus, his demeanor shifting to pure command. All units, prepare for engagement. This is not a drill. Through the translucent panels of the command center, the first sight of the Council's ships became visible, massive and imposing, like floating fortresses of doom descending from the heavens. The sky turned dark as the ships blocked out the sun. General Kane barked orders into his headset. Alpha Squadron, engage on my mark. Beta and Gamma, hold your positions until my signal. Riker watched as Earth's defenses roared to life. Anti-aircraft batteries fired volleys of missiles, streaking toward the alien ships. Fighter jets took to the skies, weaving through the air like metallic birds of prey. Dr. Marlowe, Riker said, his voice almost drowned out by the cacophony of war, coordinate the disruptor teams. We need those cannons operational ASAP. Elena nodded, her fingers flying over her tablet as she relayed Riker's orders. Teams, synchronize with the main grid. Prepare to fire on my signal. Minutes felt like hours as the battle intensified. Explosions lit up the sky, a deadly fireworks show of missiles meeting energy shields. Council drones swarmed the battlefield, engaging in lethal dogfights with human pilots. In the midst of chaos, Riker's calm, commanding voice rang through the command center. Hold the line! Every second counts! Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the ground, and the power flickered. Hayes shouted over the tumult. We've lost contact with the Eastern European defense grid! Riker clenched his fists, a mix of fear and determination surging through him. Get them back online, now! We can't afford to lose any sector. The battle raged on, but the flicker of hope remained strong in Riker's heart. They were down, but not out. The fight for Earth continued, every moment a testament to humanity's will to survive. Explosions echoed in the distance as the command center shuddered. Captain Alex Riker steadied himself, staring at the chaos unfolding on the screens. Earth was under siege, but the defenders showed no signs of giving up. Dr. Marlowe, are the disruptors ready? Riker asked, urgency threading through his voice. Elena Marlowe, goggles perched on her forehead, shouted above the din, All units are charged and in position. We need your go. Outside, the battlefield was a storm of fire and metal. Fighter jets and spacecrafts wove through a deadly ballet, their trails crisscrossing the sky. The Council's ships, vast and menacing, retaliated with energy beams that scorched the Earth below. General Kane, we need a coordinated strike, Riker called, his voice a beacon of calm amid the storm. Kane, scanning multiple tactical readouts, responded with a nod. Alpha and Beta squadrons are ready to engage key targets. Waiting for your signal, Captain. Riker glanced at the screens showing the disruptor units. Engineers and soldiers stood by massive cannons, their faces set with determination. Each disruptor hummed with a latent power, ready to unleash its fury. Elena's voice crackled over the comms. Remember, once we fire, the disruptors need time to recharge. We can't afford to miss. Riker took a deep breath, his mind racing through every possible outcome. I know, we won't miss. Everyone, sync your timers. On my count, 3, 2, 1, fire. The disruptors roared to life, emitting beams of blistering energy that lanced through the skies. The first wave of Council ships, caught off guard, disintegrated. The energy beams were precise, devastating, and beautiful in their destructive arc. But the enemy was relentless. More ships emerged from behind the smoking debris of their fallen comrades, launching a fresh barrage of counterattacks. The ground shook with the impact of their weapons. Riker's eyes flicked to Lieutenant Hayes. Report! We've taken out 15% of their fleet, Captain, she replied, her hands flying over the console. But they're not backing down. General Kane grunted. They'll be coming for the disruptors. We need to defend those positions at all costs. Riker nodded. Deploy ground forces to protect the cannons. Mobilize all reserves. This is our lifeline. In the field, Sergeant Jackson, a veteran with a hardened face, led a squad to reinforce the disruptor units. Hold this line, he bellowed, firing his rifle at incoming drones. No one gets through. His squad responded in unison, their resolve as unbreakable as the battle-hardened man leading them. Dr. Marlowe adjusted her goggles, sweat beading on her forehead. Alex, the disruptors are recharging, but it's taking longer than expected. We need time. Time is a luxury we don't have, Riker said, glancing at the countdown clock for the disruptors' next volley. Kane, we need diversions. Buy us those precious minutes. Kane immediately relayed orders. Across the battlefield, human forces launched concentrated attacks on secondary targets, drawing the enemy's fire away from the disruptors. Explosions erupted, the night sky alight with the clash of wills. Suddenly, a new signal appeared on Riker's console, a massive ship descending directly toward the command center. Zarek Thul's flagship. That's him, Riker said, eyes narrowing. Hayes, patch me through to all units. Her fingers danced over the keys. You're live, Captain. All units, this is Captain Riker, he began, his voice calm yet commanding. The flagship is our primary target. Take it down and their fleet will crumble. Focus all firepower on that ship. The battlefield erupted in a unified assault. Missiles, lasers, and disruptor beams converged on the looming menace. The air hummed with the collective effort of Earth's defenders. Inside the flagship, Zarek Thul watched the onslaught with fury. Increase shields and return fire. Crush them! His command reverberated through his vessel, but the human forces pressed on undeterred. Sweat dripped from Riker's brow as he coordinated the attack. Elena, are the disruptors ready? Almost there, she replied, her voice tinged with desperation. Just a few more seconds. Seconds that felt like an eternity. The flagship's energy beams lashed out, decimating parts of the defense grid. Riker's heart pounded, but his focus never wavered. Finally, Elena's voice rang out. Disruptors ready! Fire! Riker shouted. The disruptors unleashed their energy in a symphony of destruction. Beams pierced the flagship's shields, causing explosions to ripple through its structure. The massive ship wavered, then began to break apart. Zarek Thul's final scream of defiance was lost in the chaos of his ship's destruction. As the flagship crumbled, the remaining Council ships faltered, their formation breaking apart. A roar of triumph echoed across the battlefield. Riker watched as the Council fleet began to retreat, the invincible armada reduced to scattered remnants. He turned to his team, proud and exhausted. We did it. Earth stands. Celebrations erupted, but Riker knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy had seen humanity's strength. Now they had to prepare for what came next. The remnants of the Council fleet drifted in space, like floating tombstones to their failed invasion. From the command center, Captain Alex Riker surveyed the aftermath. Relief washed over him, but it was tempered by the weight of the losses they had endured. Status report, he requested, his voice steady despite his exhaustion. Lieutenant Sarah Hayes, her face smeared with grime and fatigue, responded, We've driven them back, Captain. Casualty reports are coming in. There's significant damage to our infrastructure, but we're secure. For now. General Marcus Kane entered, his steps heavy. The primary threat is neutralized, but we're seeing increased activity from minor factions. They smell our blood. Riker rubbed his temples. We can't afford to relax. Start repairs immediately. Reinforce key locations and keep a vigilant watch for any follow-up attacks. In the medical bay, Dr. Elena Marlowe worked tirelessly, treating the wounded. The room was filled with the hum of medical equipment and the soft murmur of voices. Riker entered, nodding to the medics as he made his way to Elena. "How are they holding up?" Riker asked, casting a glance at the rows of injured soldiers. Elena looked up, her eyes tired but resolute. "We're managing, Alex, but the strain is immense. Supplies are running low, and we need more hands." "We'll get you what you need," Riker assured her. "You just focus on keeping everyone alive." As he turned to leave, Elena grabbed his arm gently. "Alex, you need rest too. You're no good to us if you collapse." Riker smiled faintly. "I will, Elena, but first, there's more to be done." Back in the command center, Riker looked over reports streaming in from various sectors. On the screen, President Nguyen appeared, looking both haggard and hopeful. "Captain Riker," Nguyen began, his voice carrying a weight of gratitude and concern, "the world owes you a debt, but we must start preparing for what comes next. The galaxy has seen our strength, and now eyes will be on us." Riker nodded, fully aware of the implications. "We're already beginning the rebuild, Mr. President, but we need to establish stronger alliances. We can't stand alone against the entire galaxy." "We're working on it," Nguyen replied. "Diplomatic channels are being opened as we speak. We'll find allies among those who were once neutral or oppressed by the Council." After the call ended, General Kane approached with an uneasy expression. "We have another issue, Captain. Intelligence reports indicate that remnants of the Council might be regrouping on the outskirts of our solar system." Riker felt a surge of frustration. "We can't afford another full-scale attack." "No, we can't. But we can launch preemptive strikes to weaken them before they fully regroup," Kane suggested. "Do it," Riker commanded, "and keep me updated." In the engineering bay, technician Sam Lopez and his team worked diligently to repair the quantum disruptors and various defense systems. Riker walked through, offering words of encouragement. "Lopez, how's the progress?" Riker asked, noting the grime and sweat on Sam's face. "We're getting there, Captain. Repairs are on track, but it'll take some time before everything's fully operational again," Lopez replied. "Every minute counts. Keep up the good work," Riker said before moving on. As the day wore on, Riker finally took a moment to breathe. He stepped outside, the cool night air a stark contrast to the tension that still lingered within him. The stars above seemed brighter, a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the challenges that lay ahead. Lieutenant Hayes joined him, offering a small smile. "We did it, Captain, against all odds." Riker sighed, his shoulders relaxing slightly. "Yes, we did, but this is just the beginning. We've shown our strength, and now we have to defend it. The galaxy is watching, waiting to see if we stumble." "We won't," Hayes said firmly. "Not with you leading us." Riker looked out at the horizon, a new determination settling over him. "No, we won't. We'll rebuild stronger than before. We'll forge new alliances, prepare for future threats, and make sure that humanity's light never dims." The world around them was damaged but alive, a testament to their resilience. As they began the painstaking process of recovery, Riker knew deep down that this victory was only a chapter in a much larger story. And together, they were ready to face whatever came next.